When your cat flinches away from something you do every single day, do you actually know what they're trying to tell you? Yes, cats are independent. They're tough. They handle things on their own. But behind that quiet tolerance, there's something most owners completely miss. Your cat may be silently stressed, uncomfortable, or even in pain, and they're too hardwired to hide weakness to ever let you know. And if you keep missing those signals, which most people do, you could be slowly breaking the trust your cat has been trying to build with you this entire time. Let's start with the one that surprises everyone. One, your house smells like a war zone to your cat. Have you ever noticed your cat suddenly leaving the room right after you light a candle, plug in an air freshener, or spray some cleaner on the counter? Maybe they sneeze once. Maybe they just quietly disappear, and you never think twice about it. Most people think their cat just wandered off, but what's actually happening is sensory overload. Here's what most people don't realize. A cat's sense of smell is roughly 14 times stronger than yours. Their nasal cavity contains around 200 million scent receptors, compared to your 5 million. In the wild, a cat would never voluntarily stay in an environment flooded with an unfamiliar chemical scent, that smell you barely notice, the lavender plug-in, the citrus spray, the scented litter. Your cat is experiencing it the way you'd experience being locked in a room with an open paint can. Their body mounts a stress response. Cortisol rises, and over time, chronic exposure to synthetic fragrances can irritate their respiratory lining and even affect liver function, since cats lack key enzymes to metabolize certain volatile organic compounds. A 2020 study published in the Journal of Feline Medicine and Surgery found that cats in households with frequent use of scented products showed significantly elevated cortisol levels and increased hiding behavior compared to cats in fragrance-free homes. That's not your cat being antisocial. That's your cat trying to protect themselves from something they can't escape. Every time they walk back into the room after the scent fades, they're choosing you over their own comfort. Think about what that actually means. And if that already changes how you see your cat, wait until we get to the last point in this video, because there's one thing your cat does every single night that most owners dismiss as nothing. It might be the most vulnerable thing in this whole video. 2, you're petting them wrong, and they've been telling you. Ever noticed your cat lean into your hand one second and then suddenly bite you or swat at you the next? You were just giving them affection. What went wrong? Most owners think their cat is moody or unpredictable, but your cat was actually communicating clearly the entire time. You just missed the signals. Cats have a very specific threshold for tactile stimulation. When you pet them past that point, especially on the belly or near the base of the tail, the sensation shifts from pleasurable to irritating almost instantly. Their skin contains dense clusters of nerve endings that become overstimulated with repeated stroking. This triggers what behaviorists call petting-induced aggression, and it's not aggression at all, it's a boundary. A 2019 study from the University of Lincoln found that cats showed the lowest stress indicators when they had full control over the initiation and duration of physical contact with humans. Cats who were petted on the owner's terms rather than their own showed increased avoidance behavior over time. They're not being difficult, they're telling you they trust you enough to set a boundary instead of just running away. That little bite isn't rejection, it's the closest thing a cat has to saying, "I love being near you, but I need you to listen." 3, you're feeding them next to their water. Here's something that might surprise you. That cute little feeding station you set up with the food bowl and water bowl side by side, your cat might be avoiding the water because of it. Most people think it's convenient and tidy, but in the wild, cats instinctively avoid drinking water near a food source. A fresh kill can contaminate nearby water with bacteria, so feral cats are hardwired to seek water from a separate location. When you place the bowls together, your cat's ancient survival programming is telling them that water is potentially unsafe. This is one of the most common reasons cats become chronically underhydrated, and since cats evolved as desert animals with a low thirst drive, they won't always seek out another water source, they'll just drink less. Over months and years, that leads to concentrated urine, kidney strain, and urinary tract issues, some of the most common health problems in domestic cats. A 2018 study published in the Journal of Veterinary Behavior found that cats with water bowls placed at least 5 feet from their food bowls consumed significantly more water daily than cats with adjacent bowl placement. They're not being picky, they're following an instinct that kept their ancestors alive for thousands of years, and they need you to understand that, because they can't fix this one themselves. 4, you're punishing them for something they don't understand. Have you ever come home to a knocked over plant or a shredded roll of paper towels and said your cat's name in that sharp, frustrated voice? Maybe you pointed at the mess, maybe you sprayed them with water. Most owners think their cat knows what they did wrong because they look guilty. But here's what most people don't realize. Cats have no cognitive framework for connecting a past action with a current punishment. That guilty look, the flattened ears, the low slow crouch. That's not guilt. That's fear. They're not associating your anger with the plant. They're associating you with a sudden, unpredictable threat. A 2021 study in applied animal behavior science found that cats subjected to regular punishment-based corrections showed increased hiding, reduced social contact with their owners, and elevated baseline cortisol over a 12-week observation period. In short, punishment doesn't teach them anything. It just teaches them to fear you. Think about what that actually means. Every time you raise your voice, your cat isn't learning a lesson. They're learning that the one person who is supposed to be their safe place can become dangerous without warning. They're not being bad. They're being a cat, and they need you to know the difference. 5. Your home has nowhere for them to hide. This is where it gets important. Take a look around your home. Are there open rooms with nowhere to tuck away? Big flat spaces with no elevated perches or enclosed spots? If so, your cat is living in a low-level state of stress you can't see. Most owners think that if their cat has food, water, and a warm place to sleep, they're fine. But cats are ambush predators. Their entire nervous system is built around having access to concealed, elevated vantage points where they can observe without being observed. Without those spots, their brain stays in a mild state of vigilance that never fully shuts off. A 2019 study from the University of Utrecht, published in Applied Animal Behavior Science, found that shelter cats given hiding boxes showed significantly lower stress scores within just 3 days compared to cats without them. The effect was so strong that even the most timid, fearful cats began approaching humans more quickly when they had a place to retreat. They're not antisocial for hiding behind the couch. They're self-regulating. And when your cat chooses to come out of their hiding spot and sit near you, that's not casual. That's a cat who had every option to stay invisible, making a conscious decision to be vulnerable around you. 6. You keep waking them up and you don't realize what you're interrupting. Remember at the beginning of this video when I told you there was one thing your cat does that most owners dismiss as nothing? This is it. Your cat sleeps near you, maybe on your pillow, maybe at your feet, maybe pressed against your side, and sometimes you shift, or you get up to use the bathroom, or you reach over to pet them while they're asleep. You barely think about it. But here's what's actually happening. Sleep, for a cat, is the single most vulnerable state they can enter. In the wild, a sleeping cat is a dead cat. Every instinct they carry, every piece of survival coding written into their DNA over thousands of years tells them to sleep alone, in a hidden, elevated, defensible position, never in the open, never beside another animal, and your cat chose you. A 2022 study published in Animal Cognition found that cats who slept in close proximity to their owners showed patterns of slow-wave sleep, the deepest, most restorative phase, indicating not just physical relaxation but genuine neurological trust. These cats weren't just comfortable, their brains had categorized their owner as safe enough to fully shut down, around. Think about what that actually means. An animal that is hardwired to guard itself every single second of every single day is choosing to go completely unconscious next to you. They're overriding millions of years of survival instinct not because they have to, not because they don't know any better, but because you are their safe place. That's not a nap. That's the highest form of trust a cat can give. And every time you casually wake them up, jostle them, or move them off the bed because they're in the way, you're interrupting the one moment where they've decided that being near you matters more than staying alive. Every time your cat left the room when you lit a candle, set a boundary when you pet them too long, or hesitated before drinking their water, they were trying to tell you something. And every single night, when they curl up beside you and let their eyes close, that's not just a cat falling asleep. That's every ounce of trust they have handed to you without a word. Don't waste it.